Hey everybody, Jus4SweetZ here. Today we are still in the Halloween, fall, autumn spirit, and I decided to make, it's chilly here in the morning. For some reason we're having an Indian summer and it's staying warmer than warm in the afternoon. It's never been this warm in October that I can remember. So, but in the mornings it's really chilly, and this is the time of year when I like to go to my favorite coffee place and get pumpkin spice latte. Those are my absolute favorite. But times are tight right now, and I'm having to figure out how to do these at home. Not to mention, I've been on I won't say diet, but a change of living, or I don't know, trying to watch what I eat a little bit, so I can make them a little bit less fattening at home, and just try to save the money, because it's definitely not cheap to go out and get your favorite coffee. So we are going to make basically a pumpkin spice coffee today and a pumpkin spice hot chocolate. Both of them are going to be done with white chocolate. And I'm making two, one for my daughter when she gets up this morning, and one for me. And if my other girls were here, I would definitely make one for them as well. But it's just the two of us this morning, so I'm going to try these out. And we're just having little ones. We're not having full servings. So we're just going to make basically a 1 serving to 2 serving pumpkin white hot chocolate. And then we're going to twist it around, and we're going to add some espresso powder and make a pumpkin white chocolate latte, or coffee, or whatever you want to call it, but it's going to be delicious. So let's get started. I've got my pan going, and basically what you need is 1.5 cups of milk, and I'm using 2%. Now obviously if you use whole milk, I had my pan going while I was talking, if you use whole milk it's going to be much creamier and richer. You can also use half and half if you want it breve style, but we are going to just use 2%, because again, we're trying to watch our calories here. And the next thing you need is 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, and I just have some organic pumpkin. It's not the pumpkin pie mix, it's just organic pumpkin, and you can just use any brand in the store. Just make sure it's not the pie mix. Okay, so we need 1/2 cup of pumpkin, and we've got our milk going on a medium-low heat right now, medium to low. So we're going to add that pumpkin in there. This is going to make it orange and taste really super yummy. Okay. The next thing you want to add is some pumpkin pie spice, because that is the key. So I have just some pumpkin and pie spice. You can find it down your spice aisle. I got mine at Trader Joe's, but you don't have to go to Trader Joe's to get it. They have it just in the spice aisle. And basically all pumpkin pie spices is a blend of different spices all in one, so you don't have to sit and measure a bunch of them out. So I'm going to use about 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, depending on how spicy you like your hot chocolate. And we also need about 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. I'm not much into the imitation vanilla, but it's your choice. I definitely prefer the flavor of pure vanilla over imitation vanilla. All right. You can add a pinch of salt to this to bring out some of the sweetness of it. I'm going to leave the salt out. I'm not much into having salt into my coffee or hot chocolate, although I'm sure theirs includes salt. So you can put a pinch of salt in this to kind of bring out the sweetness, but I'm going to leave the salt out of mine. So what you want to do is, now I've turned it up to like a medium to medium high heat, And you want to whisk all these ingredients together. And you want to let this get to a boiling point so that it's nice and hot. Because what we're going to do, that should be, there's some pumpkin right there. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take our white chocolate, once this is heated up, and we're going to go in there and we're going to melt it all so that we get our nice rich pumpkin chocolate. And then I will add espresso powder to the cup. But one thing you can do, if you do not have espresso powder and you're wanting, excuse me, to make one of these, you can use regular strong coffee out of your coffee pot. You know, just make some extra strong coffee. If you don't like strong coffee and you just want a slight coffee taste, just take some coffee out of your regular pot and add as much as you want to this mixture to get the flavor that you want. So, you know, I would say you could add like a half a cup of coffee and then the rest, the white hot chocolate mix, the pumpkin mix, and it'd be a delicious, delicious flavor. You do not have to have espresso powder, but in the case that you want espresso powder, this is what it looks like, and you can get it at almost any grocery store down the coffee aisle. I believe they have it at a lot of different places. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but this little jar goes a long way. So unless you drink it every single day, you're not going to go through it super fast. I don't drink this every day. I just drink my regular coffee. And then every once in a while, I treat myself when I'm having that craving for my favorite latte or whatever. I treat myself to this. But a lot of times I like just really, really strong, like a French roast or espresso roast on my coffee through my coffee pot, and instead of the powder. So, you know, you can do it either way. Like I said, I prefer the taste of the real coffee better, but this is a good alternative. So we're going to keep stirring. What you want to do is you want to stir and let this get to the boiling point, but you don't want to boil it. You don't want to overboil it. You're just trying to get it nice and hot and creamy, and you're trying to get those chunks of pumpkin out of there. So it's already, I'm going to show you, it's got that nice, because I've got all the, look at the nice orange. If you can see it through my camera, it's a nice orangey look. Now my organic pumpkin isn't super bright orange. As you can see, a lot of times the organic pumpkin in the stores is really bright. This one is not too bright, but it's still got that pumpkin look to it. So this milk is getting super hot. I have my white chocolate chips all measured out. And what we have is we have a 1/4 cup of white chocolate chips to add to our hot chocolate as soon as this boils. Now, if you don't have white chocolate chips, you can use a bar of chocolate. And sometimes that actually works better, where you kind of just shave it down. You kind of cut it into pieces and measure that out to a 1/4 cup. So 1/4 cup of white chocolate to 1.5 cups of milk. So it's starting to boil right now. And the reason you want it to get real hot is because we don't want to melt that chocolate on it. There it goes. So as you can see it boiling. So now we're going to turn it off. I didn't want it to overflow. That's the trick. It starts to overflow, blow on the top of it, and it goes down. That's my trick to everything, right? No. Okay. So put the white chocolate chips in there, and we've turned off the heat. And we're going to go ahead, and you're just going to stir that white chocolate in there because you don't want it to settle on the bottom. And it's going to melt really quickly because this was some pretty hot milk. So just keep stirring. Now another thing you could do with this, instead of a hot alternative, is do an iced version. Now you still make this the same way. You're going to let this cool down, and then you're going to pour this over a full cup of ice, and then you can enjoy it iced instead of hot, just depending on what your poison is for the morning. Okay, so we've got that white chocolate all melted in there. All right, so our next step is, and I'm going to kind of move you over here a little bit. That's on the stovetop. Let's get this stuff out of here. And we have our 2 cups right here. And as you can see, I have a little strainer, and the reason for this is we're going to put it through in case there's still some chunks of pumpkin in there that we missed. And I'm going to add my espresso powder, and it is 1 teaspoon per cup. So there's our teaspoon of our espresso powder, or add your half cup of really strong coffee. And this one is just going to be my daughter's her hot chocolate. So we're going to get a little bit closer here. Let's come down. There you go. Get a little bit closer to what we're doing. And very carefully, you don't want to spill. You want to be very careful, and kind of, if you make a mess, just have a towel ready. Because I make messes, just like I fumble over my words. All right, so we're going to fill that right to the top. And you can see that it's catching little bits of pumpkin in there that weren't mixed in. And then you're just going to get a nice, pure white hot chocolate. All right, and now we're doing our latte, our pumpkin spice latte. This one I have the espresso powder in. Gently pour that in as I make a mess. Now you could get bigger cups and then it probably wouldn't make such a mess. All right, I'm gonna let that go through the strainer. We actually have enough for one more cup because these are fairly small cups. So if you do some small cups, you can actually get, my pan does not want to stay in position for me. You could actually get quite a few of these out of this one recipe. Probably 3 or 4 of them, depending on the size that you use. Now you want to keep that nearby, and you probably want to clean the strainer out in between, just because, as you can see, it's getting clogged up because of all the pumpkin that was missed. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this back in here and show you the reason for the strainer. Now, if you don't mind the pumpkin chunks, go ahead and pour it in there without the strainer. I'm just trying to make it creamy, and you can see that's what's left in that mesh strainer. And if you don't mind, you can pour it right through. You don't have to strain it out. Okay, so we got our 2 cups here. This one we need to stir because this is the one that has the espresso powder in it, and I cannot wait to dig into this. I'm so excited. This one's going to be a little bit darker because of the coffee. Just make sure you stir really well. All right. And normally what you would do now is you would add whipped cream to this, right? Because that's the way they do it there. Now, I could whip up some heavy cream. I don't really like the canned whipped cream. I've been trying to get away from a lot of the chemical stuff. So I would usually whip up my own whipped cream and put a big old dollop on top. Today I'm going to make a little bit extra special. We're not going to do the whipped cream. We are going to do some ghost marshmallows because I think that's what my daughter would like. She likes the whipped cream, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to make it a little bit more Halloweenish. And I got these in the store yesterday, and they're just ghost and pumpkin shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a ghost. Oh, maybe they're all ghosts. I thought there was pumpkins in there. Nope, they're all ghosts. They're just multicolored. So I'm going to give her 3 different ghosts in her hot chocolate. And I'm going to leave them off of mine. Plus, I'm leaving the whipped cream off of mine. And then all we want to do is we want to add a little shake of pumpkin pie spice on top. And it'd be really great if I had this like in a shaker bottle, but I don't. So I'm just going to kind of shake a little bit on her ghost, just like that. And she's got a little bit of a cinnamony taste. And mine, I'm just going to put it right on top. And there we go. So we have all in one pot. We did a pumpkin spiced latte, and we did a pumpkin spiced white hot chocolate, and these are delicious for us to enjoy this morning. Let's clean this up because it doesn't look pretty when there's white hot chocolate all over the counter. And we will go over that recipe one more time. So there's the pumpkin spice latte. It's a pumpkin spice white chocolate latte, and then here's a white hot chocolate with pumpkin in it. And we will go over our ingredients. It was 1.5 cups of whole milk. I use 2% milk. Pick whatever milk you like, or you can even make a breve and use half and half. We use 1/2 cup of pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, but canned pumpkin. We have a 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice that you can get in your grocery aisle. We also used a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. You can add a pinch of salt to this if you like. You're going to go ahead and heat that up over medium heat. Keep whisking it until it boils. Turn it off as soon as it boils, and then you want to add a 1/4 cup of white hot chocolate. Or I'm sorry, white chocolate. You can use chocolate chips, or you can even use a bar of chocolate and just kind of shred it up a little bit. Put that in there with the heat off, whisk it all together, and then through a fine mesh strainer, pour that into your cups and add your whipped cream or your marshmallows, or just do it like I do it and leave it the way it is, and then enjoy. So I'm going to taste this, let you know. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. You can taste the freshness of the pumpkin compared to the pumpkin syrup that you usually get at the local coffee place. Totally tastes like pumpkin pie in a glass. It's so delicious. Wow, you guys have to make this one. It is super, super good. And I used 1 teaspoon of espresso powder to make my latte, or you can add a 1/2 cup of really strong coffee out of your coffee pot. I made it a little ghostly and put some marshmallows on top so we could have fun with it. And that is my version of a pumpkin white hot chocolate and a pumpkin white chocolate latte. You need to try this one out for sure, and it'd be good on a really cold morning, and it'd be even better. I made some cupcakes last night. Look at these. Yum. Even better with a cupcake next to you. So anyway, if you like this video, I'd love for you to hit the like button. Please share it on your Facebook and with your friends and family. I would love that as well. My Facebook page is Jus4SweetZ if you'd like to go to that and join that. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, next video, we have a lot more coming up with the holiday season. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless.